to it and talk a little bit about who Galileo is and what we do. So let me just get to my deck here real quickly. And Galileo is essentially a fintech, and a fintech is a broad term, and that is could be encompass anything from what Galileo does, which are payments and products for digital banking. It could be some of our customers like Chime and Robinhood. Those could be considered, those are fintechs as well. So anything that provides financial technology in terms of software or software platforms is a fintech, and that's who we are and what we do. Some of the products that we offer our banking clients, our suite is quite broad, and Ryan's going to help me kind of explain some of these today. But we offer different types of banking platforms, program management services, and a program management service would be something aligned to maybe our customized APIs that facilitate payments transactions, and the program manager would be the fintech that we're serving. Ryan, I'm going to have you speak to fraud services and chargeback disputes.
Fraud, we last year our business intelligence team with all the credit card companies that we help with their services, we detected like 1.8 million fraud claims. And so we have a big fraud team that looks out for those, especially during tax season. We also have a chargeback and disputes team that if you get charged too much and you create a dispute for it, we have a team to investigate it, make sure that if it is a valid claim that you get your money back. And just to add to what Bruce is saying, the awesome thing about all of our different offerings that we have for our clients is that most payment processor companies like Galileo, they don't do a la carte. Any company can come in here and choose, hey, I just want your APIs, but I don't want chargebacks. Oh, I want all your products. Okay, awesome. We'll sign them up with a program manager and everything like that to help them with whatever they need. And so we're one of the only fintech companies that deals with payment processing that you can do an a la carte type of offering.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for that, Ryan. Just as a side note, before I go a little bit further, I'm trying to watch the chat on my phone. I can't have the YouTube broadcast open with the Zoom at the same time. So Ryan and I are going to try to get to your chat questions as soon as I see them on my phone. So be patient with me, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. So back to our products. Thanks for picking up fraud and chargeback, Ryan. I appreciate that. APIs. This is kind of a marquee product for us. This is what we're known for. Industry standard in API design, development, and deployment for our customers. And our APIs facilitate transactions for debit cards, credit cards, digital wallets, anything that's not cash. So that's really our wheelhouse of facilitating things like Apple Pay, Google Wallet, and again, different types of credit cards and debit cards. Also managing ACH transactions. That's a common term in the banking world for really just posting debits and credits to people's accounts, deposits, withdrawals, different types of account changes. That's when you think about how many times a day somebody has an account change or swipes a card at Starbucks or Target. Those are billions of transactions that occur on a weekly basis. So these are highly complex, high volume banking systems that we develop for our clients. That in turn creates a lot of data that we manage, which is followed up here on our product offerings and online tools, different types of reporting, things like that. Again, we manage a lot of the data on-prem right now, but we are moving to AWS, so that's an exciting project for our tech team to move it to the cloud. Anything else on products, Ryan?
No, you covered it.
Got it. So we live in an interesting world with regard to fintech, and this is just a quick view of the Galileo ecosystem. And where we reside is what you would call the issuing side of payments. There's two sides to really kind of simplify it. The acquiring side, which is going to be point of sale to the merchant, so the Starbucks and the Targets to the bank. And making those purchases. But where we live is on the back end, on the transactional side, which is one noted by the program manager, which is kind of what I mentioned before. The program manager is simply the client, like a Chime or a Robinhood, the fintech. And then our relationship, that relationship with the card issuer, perhaps MasterCard or Visa. And then that's where Galileo comes in on the back end with their software products to make sure that all those things are tied together. And our software provides processing for all those transactions that occur on a daily basis. Ryan, anything to add to that?
No.
This is a good view of our API suite, which I mentioned before is a marquee product for us. These are customized again for our clients. And there's three main buckets that you see the APIs aligned to. One of them is the program, which is setting up the account. So Ryan comes to Bruce and says, hey, Bruce at Galileo, I need you to set up an API that can do X, Y, Z for us. That's the overall program that we're going to design and develop for them. And then the other API lane are alerts. Is there any activity on your card or your account that we need to be aware of? And then there's also authorizations, making sure that we're set up and watching those authorizations. You can also customize those authorizations, and Ryan has a good example of authorizations with one of our clients.
Yeah, so our client called Greenlight, awesome company. So it's a product for basically parents to give their kids debit cards. And so when a parent gives their kid a debit card, they can, when they establish it, they can say, hey, my kid can only have $50 a month. They can only buy certain items, whether it be like healthy food, they can only get gas for the car and something else. If they go to try to buy like a video game, it won't even let them process the transaction. It'll come in denied when they swipe that debit card. And so you can customize it any way you want. And so we do help create those authorizations with those companies.
Very good. Thank you, Ryan. So what is our history and where are we today? Galileo has been around for a long time. We've been around in Salt Lake City for 20 years. And we actually reside in Cottonwood Heights right now. I think we actually started in Davis County in Bountiful many years ago. Very small kind of brainchild of Clay Wilkes when he realized that this is going to be kind of a market need in terms of payment processing. And over those 20 years, we've offered different types of products, and as we've grown and learned different needs of our customers. Yeah, it's a local company, 20 years. We're small, but we have a lot of reach domestically and globally. So we have a lot of large clients in the Bay Area, New York City. Any type of financial hub, you will find our relationships with our customers. We also have a lot of international reach. We have expanded into Latin and Central America. We have really great opportunities in Asian markets as well. So even though we grew up here in Salt Lake City, we do have a lot of opportunities internationally, which is super exciting. So I really kind of like to simplify, probably oversimplify what it is about Galileo and what we do and why we're successful right now. And Ryan, if I'm oversimplifying this, you can virtually slap me, but I think that it's really the reason why Galileo is successful is because of the way that people spend money. It's the cultural trend of kind of moving away from cash and using other means of payments. Again, debit cards, credit cards, digital wallets, and things like that. And it really kind of seems that simple why Galileo is doing well over the last 3 years. And something I learned yesterday in talking to some business development people, that in 2018, we signed the most new contracts. 2019, we did the same. We keep breaking our last year's records. And then this year, in the first quarter, we have signed more new contracts than we ever have before. And that's just in the first quarter. So we, like a lot of companies, we had kind of a gut check in March when COVID hit. And so we kind of stepped back. What is this going to do to our business? What is this going to do to our hiring needs? Took a little pause and we watched what was going on in the market. And what happened is our payments transactions went through the roof because people are staying at home and ordering things online or using different methods of payment. And then also businesses are accelerating their payment platforms sooner than perhaps they had before. So our business has been resilient in 2020 beyond our expectations. So we opened up the doors to hiring. We have a lot of new business. So that's been really exciting for us. Again, we've signed more new contracts in 2020 than we have in the past, increased transactions significantly, international expansion. I think at the end of April, we were tasked to hire a minimum of 130 people this year, Ryan.
140, but
140. Yeah, so that's not bad. That's not bad for a 300 employee organization, right? So the other thing that was exciting for us was that we were acquired by another fintech, Bay Area fintech in the lending space, SoFi. So you've probably seen their commercials on television talking about lending. They have a presence here in Salt Lake City, actually not far from our offices. And so that's been a really wonderful partnership between the two companies. And it's been definitely celebrated in the fintech community. I've seen it all over LinkedIn. They're excited about the opportunities that SoFi and Galileo will bring together domestically and internationally. So there's some really great integrations going on, but we will maintain independently the Galileo brand. But overall, this has been a really great partnership between SoFi and Galileo.
Yeah, just one thing to add before we move on, Bruce, is when you're considering joining other companies and some startups, there's a ton of awesome new startups in Utah right now. We've been profitable from month number 3. And you're not going to find that with a lot of companies. And so like we're adding 140 new employees this year. And so Clay Wilkes, he's basically a genius. He helped create VoIP. So if you're an IT professional, you know what VoIP is. It's huge. And so it's just really cool to see the momentum of Galileo being one of the fastest growing tech companies in Utah.
Yeah. So just so you know, Ryan, I am getting I'm having trouble accessing the chat, but I'm getting texts from Luke and Tanner. So hi, Bridget Valentine from New York City. Thanks for letting us know that we were live. And everybody else that was giving us a nod that we were live. So I'm going to try to watch these questions as they come in the chat and do my best to answer them. So so thanks for your patience with the session today. So again, Galileo was developed in Salt Lake City. However, we have domestic and international presence. San Francisco, New York, Mexico. The reasons why we're located in these areas are these are financial hubs. and these are customer-facing positions. We are very excited about the recent launch of our office in Mexico City. Not only does that serve the population of Mexico City, but it also serves for a launching pad to other parts of Latin and Central America. So super excited about that. I have a feeling we will probably see another bubble on this slide not too long from now, Ryan, which will probably be a location in the Asian market.
We also have Seattle as well, and Bruce is hiring for Seattle.
Yep. So with the SoFi acquisition, that opened up our talent pool network to include the Bay Area and Seattle. So that's been a lot of excitement for us to provide opportunities for our employee base outside of Salt Lake City. One prestigious recognition that we had last year was being brought into the Fintech Power 50. This is an elite collection of different fintechs internationally. So we were inducted into this last year. So that's a big deal. This is a active presence in the fintech community. So we're very proud of that accomplishment of being awarded the Fintech Power 50 award. This slide, I'm pretty sure is going to be hard for you to see, but just trust me, there's some really great companies on here. It's quite small in terms of the print, but this is representative of the Fintech Power 50. Just trying to give you an idea of what the categories are and who some of the partners are in the Fintech 250. That's just kind of starting at the top left. That's payments, processing, and networks. That's where we would align to. So there's companies in here like Stripe and Marqeta, other recognizable companies like Paystack and things like that. You would also have wealth management groups in here, retail investing, financial services, and automation. So this is when I started our presentation today, when I said fintech is a broad term, this is what I'm talking about. There's so many different types of applications that fall under the fintech category. This represents that, and it's an exciting industry overall to be a part of. These are buzzing companies, and these are energized companies and doing some really cool, innovative stuff that changes the way that people bank and the way that people invest. So that's why this is a big deal. It's a creative and innovative collection of very smart people. Anything on this, Ryan?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So this is more localized to Galileo. A small collection of some of our clients. So I'm sure some of you are familiar with Chime. That is a banking application. They are crushing it out of the Bay Area. They have some really cool stuff going on. Varo is a recognizable name as well. Robinhood, I have that on my phone right now. I think Ryan does as well. That's an investment app. Really cool applications developed there. And Blue Vine, I believe they just opened up a location in Utah County, I believe. And some other companies like Monzo, that's an international fintech. Greenlight is the company that Ryan was talking about before. And so we're really proud about these relationships that we have. And some of them are small, some of them are startups, but some of them are definitely recognizable, more stable kind of household names like Google and RBC. So why are we here today? The founders of Get Hired Summit that came up with this virtual career fair idea last, to the end of March into April. Really great way to keep our community employed. I'm very proud about the efforts that the Get Hired Summit team have put together in such a quick time frame to provide an outlet for companies to let people know that they're hiring. I know the labor market looks a little tough right now. However, lots of people are hiring. We're hiring. You just have to make sure that you're available and aware of these types of events. So we're excited to be a part of it and glad that you joined us today. So who we are hiring for right now, we're always hiring for software developers. I think Nick, I saw your note in there in the chat, and see that you're looking for software development opportunities. So hopefully we can connect soon. So our tech stack is primarily C and Python, legacy C code converting to Python, same with PHP to Angular. A lot of database work, a lot of SQL work. Again, as I mentioned before, we develop, our transactions create an enormous amount of data that we store, report, analyze for our customers. So that's a little, we have probably about 80 developers right now. We'll probably be at 100 by the end of the year. Data sciences is also part of that tech team. Ryan, if you want to talk a little bit about your data sciences and BI roles.
Yeah, so our data science and our machine learning specialists and our ETL developers all sit on the business intelligence team. And what we do is we are trying to automate some of the processes, make sure that we're using AI and machine learning to make stuff faster for all of the cardholders or people using our APIs. And then what I also mentioned earlier is we look for fraud, so that all of our card holders with our clients and APIs are not getting hacked and trying to get those fraudulent claims. And so they do a lot of stuff, a lot of cool projects, trying to look for things. And yeah, we hire them all the time. Our team's getting bigger.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. We do have some product owner positions available right now. These are senior product owners. These are, excuse me, product owners are really cool opportunity to work directly with the customer in shaping what problem they're trying to solve. Excuse me. So in other words, what is the product that they want us to develop for them? So the product owners, along with the engineering teams and the implementation teams, define the features of what we're going to create for them. Super cool position to be on the roadmap for our new clients, new products. Excuse me. From there, once we've identified what that product looks like, we would be transitioning that over to the project managers or the technical project managers. And those are the people that lead hand in hand with the customer step by step the product launch, getting it ready to release. Business development, that's an exciting role for us as well. I see some really great questions coming in from Lisa Simpkins. You know, who's our biggest competitors? Companies like perhaps maybe Marqeta, maybe Revolut, FIS, companies like that. Those are probably some of our largest competitors. But our business development team, we do have a lot of inbound organic leads that we develop. So a lot less cold calling, if you want to kind of describe it that way, than I thought. And I just learned that yesterday. So we naturally develop our own leads because of our reputation, which is a really good place to be. Account managers, those are people that are post-implementation customer care. So these are the people that get the phone calls at midnight. Hey, what's going on with my payment platform? So God bless these people for taking those calls. It's a great customer service role. I do have a great answer for Alice L, who asked, what can a candidate have in their background, or what one thing can we do to make us a more desirable candidate? And Ryan, I'm going to have you chime in on this as well. But if there's one thing that I see in terms of consistency across Galileo, we are a technical environment. So not everybody needs to code or develop or design, but they need to understand the technical capabilities of our product and products and speak to it. So I think if there's one thing, having a technical aptitude or the ability to learn what our technology does is critical even with that fraud and chargeback, customer support roles, those are definitely technical roles as well. Would you agree, Ryan?
100%. So like if you've dealt with any APIs, put that on your resume for sure. If you're trying to switch industries right now, so let's say Utah has some fintech companies, but not a ton. So if you don't have that fintech company, but you really want to join Galileo, you really need to understand how they work and put that research in before you switch. And that's a rule for switching any industries. You need to know how it works and the processes behind it, so you'll be able to talk about it in your interview.
Yeah, that's great. So that, that's pretty much captured by that phrase at the bottom. There's technology in everything we do, and that's consistent. So hopefully that answers your question, Alice L. Ryan, if you could take these last two, I know that you support network and security and client support.
Yeah, so sorry about that. Networking, we have a Linux environment, Oracle database. We also mess around with some Snowflake. Like Bruce said, we are moving to AWS. We do have on-prem servers in South Salt Lake and in Denver. Our security engineers are probably some of our most important people, is because we're dealing with so much money, so much data, that we have the best security professionals possible to provide that for our clients and cardholders. Client support specialist is a pretty cool position. It is a little technical, but basically what you do is you work with the Robinhoods, the Chimes, the Veros, all of our clients, and you work with them on a one-on-one basis. And Robinhood will be like, hey, this API is not working. And what you'll do is you'll troubleshoot it. And we teach and we train you to take kind of those calls. And then basically, if we can't, we escalate them to our network operations team. And so it's a really good experience to get a diverse background working with several different clients. It really helps your resume quite a bit. And we have lots of openings right now for client support.
Yep. That's great. I'm seeing some really great questions coming in. Before I forget, because I know we're coming up on time, two things. If you are interested in jobs with us, a really easy way to get to our job and openings is simply GalileoJobs.com. Again, GalileoJobs.com. My name's Bruce Hansey. I'm on LinkedIn. You can connect with me. Ryan Miller as well. You can connect with both of us, and we can talk a little bit further offline. We are also holding a virtual booth at 5 Mountain, so in like 40 minutes. That will be in a different Zoom platform, which will make it easier for me to give you my one-on-one time and also give you my LinkedIn profile in the chat. And then Ryan's hosting another one tomorrow at 11:40. So that's a virtual booth. So if you can swing by, that's a little bit more intimate situation where we can talk a little bit more one-on-one. So to answer, let's see, somebody asked me a question. Joshua asked, why do you love most about working at Galileo? So I've been there 9 months. I worked in a different industry. I worked in the defense industry for 10 years. Very different environment. I love the mission of defense and the security they provide our country. However, it was time for me to make a change. I went to fintech, totally different. It's a tech company, true, and it is culturally very welcoming, collaborative, and respectful in the way that people interact with each other. I've loved that about Galileo. It's small, so my relationships with everybody are very immediate. I've really liked working in a smaller environment. And the relationships I have with my team members and the hiring managers that I support, again, are very collaborative, welcoming, and respectful. Those are the main things I would really like to emphasize. Plus, we get all the free chocolate milk that we like. So that's definitely a key selling point for Galileo.
Yeah, but you can go golfing with me and Bruce once a week.
Ryan, that might not be as fun as it sounds, but So the other thing about why why I like to work here, we're market competitive in our salaries. We look at that every year, making sure that we are market competitive. Sometimes we exceed market. We pay 100% of your family's medical premiums for medical and dental. That's a big deal. So that's you and your family 100%. That's a big contribution to your paycheck every other week.
And vision starting in January.
And what?
And vision starting in January.
January. Thank you, Ryan. We get 11 paid holidays, which I love. We always get the day after Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve. I love having Christmas Eve off, so that's really terrific. And then we have about 3.5 weeks of PTO. In January, that's unlimited PTO for certain salaried employees, if I remember correctly, once we move to the SoFi benefits. We have tuition reimbursement. Our offices are beautiful. We have an on-site fitness center, a gourmet kitchen, for real, a gourmet kitchen. That's like a Parade of Homes break room. It's unreal. And the cool thing about that is not because the kitchen's nice. It's like the heart of the home concept at work, right? Everybody goes to the kitchen and socializes. I see Ryan in there, making something for lunch, talking to all sorts of different people all the time. It really allows us to kind of get to know the people that we spend most of our time with during the day. Ryan, anything else you want to add to this?
Yeah, one other thing, kind of Bruce hinted on it, very diverse. We have a lot of tech companies say, hey, it's mostly men. No, most of our staff, it's like half women, half men. And a lot of people from all around the world, from India, Sudan, Africa, England, just a ton of people. It's a really diverse environment. And so you get a lot of different diversity of thought in some of the projects you work on with people. So it's been awesome just to meet different people that you wouldn't in a typical Utah company.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you look at the percentage of the diversity in our workforce there, it exceeds what you would normally see in some other companies. So I'm very proud of that. One of the things that I would also like to highlight is the Galileo Foundation, which is a very unusual benefit that I've never seen anywhere. And this is a volunteer project or organization, excuse me, that our founder created. And what this is that we twice a year we go on international humanitarian aid projects. Once in Peru in the spring, India in the fall, to help underadvantaged communities become more self-sustained. Typically, those are working with youth in schools and things like that. We get 40 hours of PTO time to participate in those global volunteer projects. It's like Habitat for Humanity on steroids. It's like, it's an international humanitarian project. It's a super cool idea. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do that this year, but we will be hopefully on board next year. All right, I'm going to, as you guys kind of go through our values, I'm going to try to answer some of these questions as we kind of come to time here, Ryan.
Okay.
I noticed that somebody asked me if our product owner positions were replacing our business analysts, and I don't think so. I think those are two, in our minds, I think those are two distinct positions. So the product owners are, developing the user stories and the roadmap and defining the features and things like that. And our business analysts would be working in a different capacity.
Yeah, we have a financial analyst in that role, and then we'll be hiring an operations IT analyst that will take care of a lot of those forecasting revenue products, and that'll be open in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. And another follow-up question from Mark was, what does the timeline of growth for an employee look like with Galileo? And that's a great question. I think, you know, we are agile and identifying talent, and because we're smaller, I think that we have the capability of putting people in the roles that they're going to excel in the most. We've also, um, uh, we are launching a new job leveling format, which will give you a map for what your career would look like from a level 1 all the way up to a level 6 in some departments. So that will give you a breakdown of kind of guidelines of 1 year of experience here, 2 years here, 5 years here, and that could set the expectation of what your timeline would look like. And again, those are guidelines, but I would say that Galileo is really good at you know, identifying key talent and making sure that they have opportunities with the company, and they're agile enough to put those put those folks in those positions. Would you agree with me, Ryan?
Yeah, as long as you perform, you are recognized and for your work. And it's been an awesome place to say, hey, thank you for all your time, all your effort on this project. You guys did a great job. One of Bruce's and I project was to do the tech summit last year and to put that on. And Clay Wilkes came up to us, say thank you for putting this on. You did a great job with Jeff's help, one of our other coworkers. And so, yeah, you're really recognized, and then they really take that into consideration for people that do well at their jobs.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Just a couple more questions. So I do see Raj and Isaiah to answer your questions. Yes, from Atlanta, Georgia, we do hire data scientists. I think Ryan has an ETL position. That team's going to grow. So we've got BI, machine learning, data sciences, ETL. So definitely, hopefully that helps you, Raj. Go to galileojobs.com and you can see those postings there. Isaiah, for sure, we're hiring software developers. That's what we do. We develop software. So that's for sure. Go to galileojobs.com. I probably got at least half a dozen job postings for API and backend. I'm hoping that I'm catching all the questions. And Ryan, anything you want to offer at close here?
Yeah, reach out to Bruce and I through LinkedIn. Anyone that asks for software developers, I forward them to Bruce and they message him on LinkedIn. But the other way to get our attention the most is make sure that you format your resume to the job description. That would be my #1 advice. Make sure that if it requires certain things, that make sure you put those in your resume if you have done them, because we do have so many applicants applying because of COVID. We are a lot more busy going through resumes, so just make sure you format your resume accordingly to that job description.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. So as a reminder, in about 30 minutes, we have another virtual booth. So I will be there, and that will be a little bit more, that will be FaceTime with me and a little bit more intimate. So please join at 5 o'clock Mountain if you can. Ryan will be hosting another session for virtual booth through Zoom tomorrow at 11:40 Mountain. So that gives us a little bit more one-on-one time, and I will not have everybody muted, so we actually chat with each other, and I think that's going to be very helpful. So join us if you can. Thanks so much for joining us today and being patient on the front end of this. My bad for that being a little bit clunky, but I appreciate you being patient with us and sticking with us. Learn about Galileo and join the FinTech revolution. Okay, thanks so much, you guys.